Hey guys, what's up? It is me, Tim, here with 8-Bit Chicken, and today I'm going to show you how to make a yeast starter. So let's do it. You're going to need some basic things here with a yeast starter: a heat source, a stir plate and flask, 4 cups of water, a saucepan, and half a cup of DME, dried malt extract. Let's go ahead and get our induction burner turned on. This is the Classic Cuisine 1800 watt. I will have it in the description below. This thing is a workhorse. Let's go ahead and pour in our 4 cups of water. So now, while we're getting this water to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the purpose of a yeast starter. A yeast starter is used to initiate cell activity and increase a cell count before you make your beer. Now, what does that mean? That means it's going to start eating that sugar and get your yeast active before you pitch it into your 5 gallons of wort. That way, your yeast is already hungry and ready to go. Usually anything with an original gravity of 1.05, I'm going to go ahead and make a yeast starter. And let's go ahead and drop in our half a cup of DME and we'll get this stirred in. As you see, it kind of exploded a little bit. A lot of times DME will cause an overboil, so you have to be careful. And if you notice, I did go ahead and drop the heat because I did not want this to boil over. This stuff is an absolute mess to clean. And speaking of mess, make sure you guys leave my comment section a mess and send me some comments below. Let me know what's going on with your beers. If you're doing a yeast starter, if this is your first yeast starter, and if you have nothing else, just tell me your favorite color and I'll tell you mine. Now we're going to go ahead and pour this into our flask and get it cooled down. I did forget to mention that you might want to use a funnel for this. If you have really steady hands, go ahead. Now, this is the same process for beer, just on a smaller size. You're only cooling down 4 cups of water, and you're going to want that to about 65 to 75 degrees. My preferred method is an ice bath, as you're seeing right now. Some guys I know will let them just sit overnight covered and then pitch the yeast in the starter the next morning and get it going. But you are going to want to do this about a day or 2 before your brew. As always, make sure everything is sanitized. Previously, I sanitized the packet and I sanitized the scissors before pitching in this yeast. The yeast I am using here is White Labs WLP002. It's their English ale yeast, and I love this on stouts and Irish beers, or just if I want a sweeter flavor to the back end of any of my brews. This is the yeast I go with. It is a bit clumpier than most, but it will thin out. Okay, now don't be like me and leave your little stir bar in there when you pitch your yeast, because it is going to knock it off to the side. And if you're an idiot like me, that happened. So make sure your stir plate is all the way down. Center your stir bar and then gradually turn up your stir plate. Make sure it is off. If it's not off, it will shoot that stir bar way out again, and then you'll have major problems. By that I mean you'll just have to keep fishing around trying to center your stir bar, which I've done many of times. Look at that beautiful, beautiful yeast. This here will be going into a Irish red, and then I will harvest it and use it into a stout. Okay, what I'm doing here is putting a piece of foil over top of this. What the foil is going to do, it's still going to allow the CO2 to get out after it's stirring, but nothing is going to be able to get in. You don't really need this to be airtight. You kind of want that CO2 to get out, or you'll probably have a bomb, and no one wants that. So you're probably not going to see any visible activity, but the yeast is busy taking up the oxygen and sugars in the solution and growing them into new cells. After 18 hours, just about all of the sugar will be consumed, and you can go ahead and pitch this in. I wouldn't let it sit for over 48. After that, it kind of gets wonky. And if it is going to sit longer than that, make sure you refrigerate this. You cover the top and you refrigerate it. That way your yeast doesn't go bad or anything like that. And when you're ready for it, just pitch it in. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate this and all the new subscribers, and I hope you like what I'm doing with my videos. Cheers.